I watch a lot of financial programs on television because what I want to do is I want to find out the best investment strategies for myself or somebody who's over 50. And today, what I thought I would do is introduce you to someone who I think can answer the question, what's the best investment strategy for a person over 50? That person I'm going to introduce you to, her name is Janice Cackowski. Janice is the founder of Century Financial Advisors, are located just east of Cleveland, Ohio. And Janice offers what I would just say is personalized financial advice for people who are pre-retirement or I would just even say young professionals. I'm going to ask Janice to share her experience, her over 20 years of experience as a certified financial advisor. I'm going to ask her to share her experience and answer that question right after this break. Hi, welcome back to Over 50 TV. My name is Lou Reyes. And as I said in the opening, I'm going to introduce you to Janice Cackowski. Janice is the founder of Century Financial Advisors, and I'm going to ask her to help us to answer that question. What's the best investment strategy for someone over 50? Hi, Janice. Welcome to our program.
Hi, Lou. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. As I said in the opening, it is somewhat confusing when I watch these financial shows, and I watch a lot of them, and I watch most of them, or I would just say religiously, just because it's something that I'm very interested in, but I don't have the knowledge. And I'm going to ask you some questions that I have prepared, and I know that you are going to be able to really help us. What do you feel is the best investment strategy for somebody over 50?
Yeah, and that is a good question. There's a lot of us out there that are over 50 that need to know this stuff. Over age 50, the most important strategy, as far as I can give across, is to making sure that you're making up for lost time. When you're over 50, there are a lot of different accounts that allow what's called a catch-up contribution, that you can contribute a certain amount plus a little bit more because you're over age 50. So those of us that have that 50 plus age get a little bit of a bonus. So for example, if somebody has access to a 401k plan and they're contributing to a 401k plan, in 2021, the limit for somebody contributing to a 401k plan is $19,500. Unless you're over age 50, you get an additional $6,500 catch-up contribution that you can make. People over age 50, if you can do that, if you can contribute the max plus the catch-up, do it. Take advantage of that. IRAs, the same thing. In individual retirement accounts, whether you're investing in a pre-tax or a Roth, you can contribute up to $6,000 per year. When you're over age 50, they give you an extra $1,000 that you can contribute. So you can put up to $7,000 in.
Janice, when you it kind of explains, when you say catch up, what do you mean by that exactly?
It means for people over age 50 that have not contributed enough, the IRS is giving us a little more leeway to catch up on our savings for retirement plan. Okay, good. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I understood that. What type of accounts are best to save to? It depends. It depends on the person's situation. 401k plans or 403b plans or anything that's offered through your employer, if they're offering a company match, invest there first. Make sure you're investing up to at least what the company matches. So let's say they match 50 cents on the dollar up to 6% of your salary. Make sure you're contributing at least 6% or you're leaving money on the table that the employer is willing to give you. So that's number one. IRAs, it's possible to also contribute to an individual retirement account, even if you are investing at your employer's plan. Some employer plans offer a way to invest pre-tax or Roth contributions. And there's different taxability stuff, and maybe we'll get a chance to talk about that. So, if you can do one or the other within your 401k plan, it depends on the person's situation and their tax situation, whether pre-tax or Roth would be best for them. Outside of the 401k, somebody can choose to contribute to an individual retirement account, and depending on their income, they can contribute to either a pre-tax IRA or a Roth IRA. There are income limitations on some of those things. So you got to understand that, or work with somebody who does understand it, and make sure that you're contributing to the right type of accounts.
Well, let me ask you, I've got two questions for you right away on that. Number one is, are you finding that employers are more employers or less employers are contributing that I guess you said it was 6%.
Yeah, the company match contribution, a lot of
Yeah.
employers are doing that. I'm seeing that a lot are. It's typically not all the way up to 6%. Sometimes maybe it's up to 3% or up to 4%. But most of the companies that I have seen in Northeast Ohio, the clients that I'm working with, there is some sort of matching contribution.
Now, you do work with clients, I think, all over the country. Is that true too?
I do. Most of my clients are in Northeast Ohio, but I have clients in California, Colorado, South Dakota, Florida. So they're all over the place.
When you're talking to somebody, whether it's on a Zoom call like we're on right now, or whether you're sitting down with somebody, what are the things that you look at to determine what is the best program to steer them to?
Yeah, I look at what do they have right now, number one. How are they earning and how are they saving right now? I will look at their taxes, their tax return, and we'll run a couple tax projections to see what if you save into this type of account. And I also just talk a little bit about what are your goals and what are you trying to get to. But for most people, when they're heading towards retirement, if they're saving for retirement, I'm trying to get them to save into several different taxable type of sources. So let's just say they have a 401k and all that money in there is pre-tax, meaning every dollar they pull out later, they have to pay tax on. So maybe we will get them to start contributing to a Roth IRA, which gives them some tax-free dollars down the road, or even into a typical brokerage account where they're only paying tax on capital gains or any interest they earn inside of that. Having those three different buckets filled in retirement gives you a lot of flexibility. You can set up your typical day-to-day income out of your pre-tax dollars, and you know you're going to get taxed on that. So you set up $40,000 a year of income out of the pre-tax dollars. You know you're going to be taxed on that $40,000 a year, but now the roof leaks and I need 20 grand to fix my roof. If I pay $20,000 more out of my traditional IRA, I just added $20,000 more to my income. But if I have Roth dollars or a brokerage account, now I can go pull that 20,000 out without screwing up my taxes for the year. So those are things we're looking at. Where are they now? And what can we get to try to fill up those three different sources?
What do you have recommendations around investing those dollars other than what we're talking about now?
Sure. I could have recommendations for individuals. Everybody that's going to be listening to this call, their situation is different, so they're unique. So as far as giving specific advice, no. But as far as a global investment idea is, number one, where are you now? If you're invested somewhat right now, how are those dollars invested? So knowing and understanding what your asset allocation is currently, meaning how much percentage of your retirement funds are in stocks, how much are in bonds, how much is in cash, and does that meet up with your needs in the future? Do you need to hit home runs? Do you need more money on that stock side to try to earn more money? Or can you be more conservative? And are you willing to be more conservative? There are risk tolerance questionnaires out on the web, on the internet, free risk tolerance questionnaires that people can take to try to understand what does their gut tell them to do and how can they afford to invest as far as what do they need down the road.
You know, it's interesting too, because you talked about hitting a home run. Do they need to hit a home run, or can they maybe be a little bit more patient in their investment strategy? And I wonder often, is it worth it? Is it wise to try to go for that home run?
Probably not, especially if you're over 50 and haven't saved yet. So going for that home run is, investing in the stock market is risky. We know that the market goes down. We just don't know when it's going to happen. If I knew that, I'd be living on my own private island somewhere, right? But we need to make sure that we understand that risk before you invest. And I do agree with you. If you're over 50 and just starting to invest, that trying to hit home runs is probably not the best strategy. Being more consistent and doing that slow, steady, wins the race kind of mentality really would make sense. Right.
Well, Janice, I'm really glad we got a chance to talk today. I want to say that many of the questions that I asked you, I mean, to me, there are questions that I also hear from people who watch our channel, especially when it comes to the roadblocks or the bumps in the road. What do you do once you hit one of those things? So I really appreciate your help today.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here and hope to see you again soon, Lou.
No, you will. Thank you so much, Janice.
Thank you.